Welcome back to the Ball Does Live podcast, your one-stop shop for weekly NBA content. My name is Amir, joined today by my co-host Brendan. So today we're going to talk about the Utah Jazz for some reason, a team on paper that looks very bad, but in theory at times have looked pretty good this season. Surprisingly for a team that should be tanking. Are they tanking or are they not tanking? Are they trying to win? Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to trade Lauri Markkanen? Are they going to keep him like as a cornerstone? Who the hell knows? But Lauri has been amazing, and then all of a sudden, the revelation of Keontae George stepping up big time. They look like they also have another guy they could theoretically build around. So, are they accidentally competitive, Brendan? Let's unpack that. So, what has surprised you the most about the Jazz this season so far?
Well, I'm surprised they still haven't dealt Lowry anywhere, given what their goal seems to be as an organization. Because Lowry is he's too good to be on a completely tanking type of team. He's going to win you too many games, and I think the Jazz are seeing that now. I mean, they're just having him sit games out that they don't really need him out in just because he's too good and too impactful to winning. Then the roster, top to bottom, just there are some like pretty good names on here, and I think the organization feels that because Keontae George, I think, is for sure going to be an all star in however many 2 to 5 years. He I think is for sure an all star. Filipowski has been incredible. I think for all intents and purposes, he looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Ace Bailey has been like kind of one of their disappointments, I would say, but he's just a rookie who has, I think, an incredibly high ceiling. And then Walker Kessler, had he not gotten injured, who knows? If they actually would have maybe planned to fight to get in the play-in this season. But I do think their roster is surprisingly good. They have a lot of great young guys and a lot of good vets that I think can kind of set the culture. Kevin Love, a guy who I think people might forget is still in the NBA, has been solid
Not
for
me,
the
bro.
Jazz.
Not me,
No, he's
bro.
been solid.
He's playing more. He's playing 17 minutes a game with the
It's
Jazz.
crazy.
And we thought like we were just dumping him with what's his name? Kyle Anderson
Yeah.
uh as part of a trade to get was it to get Norm over here? Was he part of the Norm trade? Yeah, because of John Collins, right? Going No, John Collins was on Atlanta before he
John
went to
Collins, yeah,
Clippers.
John Collins with the Hawks.
But Collins
But
was on
either
the
way, you
Jazz.
guys were
Collins was on the Jazz before he went to the Hawks, right?
yeah, but you guys were just dumping K Love, right? The whole point of it, you guys are just basically dumping
Oh yeah,
him.
he was like a
Makes sense.
cheerleader. He's 37, but he's averaging 7 points versus 5 last season. He's averaging 5 rebounds versus like the 4. Like his numbers have
Shooting
gone up.
37% from three, like not bad for a guy his age. And again, I think a guy that can at least set somewhat of a culture in Utah. Um, but yeah, this roster looks good. So I'm just itching to see what the hell they're gonna do with Lowry. Like, what are you gonna do with that guy?
Totally.
Um, and I'm sure the rest of the league is itching for them to at least put him on the block, so people can make offers at him. But I'm not necessarily bullish on the Jazz, but it seems to me that they're a little bit better than I think they thought they would have been. And then this Keontae George situation, I think, has been huge for Utah, and they just now have an incredibly good, shifty scoring guard that they can continue to build around. And whether that's going to be with Lowry or not, that's going to be interesting to see. But they got some pieces, and I think Utah is going to be a lot better than we expect them to be in the next year, 2 years.
Yeah, it's interesting too because they drafted Walter Clayton Jr. and then they got Isaiah Collier, right? Like, and you have Keontae kind of in that position. It's like, hey, like I'm taking this third year leap, like candidate for most improved. Like like he's incrementally improved, 13 points, whatever, 16 points this sophomore year, and now his third year, he's jumped up to 24 points per game. Man, like that's a huge leap right there. That's a big leap. That's
Yeah.
definitely top, most improved candidate in my opinion. Maybe Denny Avdia might be up there. There's probably some other players I can't think of the top of my head, but they do have a fun roster. And even again, they do have these young pieces like Filipowski, the Ace Baileys. You have the Keontaes, like you have Walter Clayton Jr. and Kessler. I think he's been reported to be on the trade block here and there. I know the Lakers have always been interested,
Been
in adding.
itching at Walker. Yeah. Been
Yeah, they've been
itching
trying to
for him.
get him. They're a fun, interesting, unique team. But like, are they going to trade market? Into your point, we're about 4 weeks and a few days until the trade deadline in February. So, there might be more rumors and movement and conversation around Lauri Markkanen, especially with a team like the Warriors, who could use someone, the extra scoring, the size, the rebounding. And there's other teams that, could be interested that are one piece away. And Markkanen's having a phenomenal year, right? Like that guy keeps getting better, which is crazy to think. Like I didn't expect him to be an all-star after he left. What team was he on before?
Cleveland or
The
the
Cavs?
Bulls?
Was he the Bulls
Yeah,
or
the
yeah,
Cavs.
it was the Cavs, it was the Bulls, the Cavs, and then and then his first year with the Jazz, which was actually 4 seasons ago. So it's kind of crazy that he's already been on this team for 4 years out of his 9-year NBA career. And he was the most improved player. His one-time All-Star was when he first got traded to the Jazz for the Cavs, 25 points per game, 9 rebounds, and his numbers went down a little bit. He was a little injured the next 2 seasons, but this season he's averaging almost 28.7 rebounds per game. Like he's having a better year than that year he was an all-star. So he's definitely going to be an all-star in my opinion.
Yeah,
so what do you
absolutely.
do with him? What do you do? Like, what do you do when when you have an all-star on your roster, but you're a losing team that you should just probably continuously try to get as much capital as possible in the draft next year is gonna be amazing, apparently, right? Like, why not try to
Yeah.
get like a lottery pick and add someone next to Keontae, right? Like, and Ace Bailey if he's still gonna have that potential to grow. Like, maybe you could get like a real power forward or center, right? Like prospect, like the lottery next year. Like, why do you have marketed at this point?
Or just keep him and see what you can do. He's going to be what? He's 28, turning 29 next year,
You have to extend him.
and you got to extend him. But I mean, I think running him with Keontae is a really great starting point, and then you have about a 2 to 3 year runway, and they have interesting pieces that they can continue to build with.
Filipowski, Ace, all these
I
young
mean,
dudes.
this team is 11th in offensive rating this year, and they should be in the lottery, or at least that was their plan to start the year. So, I mean, they're potentially a really exciting team, and if they just make one or two moves on the fringes, I think they could legitimately be somewhat competitive, vying for a play-in spot or even a legitimate spot in the West if they actually worked to win. But
They don't.
that's
That's also
Utah
it's like
Utah just hasn't been in the business of winning for now 4 or 5 years.
it's futile too because it's like, what are we talking about? Like they add a couple pieces to get into the play-in. Like he's 28. Like what are you gonna do at this point? Like get as many young players and suck for even longer and be in position to add another player next to Keontae because you have Ace. You pray that he has a leap. It's not growth is not always linear. It does suck when you're that high of a lottery pick though, right? Like you're like if you don't hit
And
with those guys, you know what I mean? Like you see Stephon Castle, his first to his second year, like that guy's bona fide. They
yeah,
didn't miss there. But like sometimes you do miss, and he might not be a good piece. So then let's add another great guy versus like let's let's re-sign Lowry to a giant contract. He's 28. He's going to be much older than the rest of these guys just to compete in the play-in because the West is a freaking gauntlet. You know what I mean? Like you're not
it
going to
is.
compete. You're not going to actually compete even with the Thunder, perhaps, like for the next 4 years. So like, get rid of this dude who's going to be a senior citizen on this team and just get more picks and suck. Tank, 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 tank. Get more ping pong balls and try to add another top 3 pick next to Keontae, next to Ace, and you have the younger pieces that are going to get the playing time, develop the Filipowskis, the Colliers, the Walter Claytons. Just play those guys, let them see if they're going to be a part of their future while they're on these rookie scale cheap ass contracts. I think it's a waste to even just keep him. It's just does the ownership want to sell some tickets while winning 13 games? At the almost halfway point of the NBA season, like what are they really doing? Jazz fans talk shit
It's
to me.
tough to say.
They could talk shit to me, but like it's not a blended build because he's just one guy on the team, right? They don't have a ton of veteran guys that are like making 25, 30 million that's kind of like wasted, space.
Yeah,
So it's not a full blended build like which a lot of teams do. Like my team, the Heat have done in the past with Jimmy Butler and the young guys, and the Warriors have done so much with Steph and Draymond versus getting the home run hitter and not trading the Kamingas and Moses, those guys, the Moody's and all those guys, pods when they could have earlier. So interesting spot for the Jazz. But yeah, it's a fun watch. They're a fun team to watch. I like Keontae George, man. I like Lauri Markkanen for sure. I like Filipowski. They do have some fun pieces for sure.
yeah, they do. And I mean, The whole what are we even competing for? If that's the thinking, then why even have an NBA team? The Thunder are just going to run the league for who knows how long. And when you're building in the draft, you're looking for a guy that can give you the production Lauri gives you, and you have him. And they've waited this long to this point. I don't know. It's tough to say. I think they should have dealt him earlier, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, or at least at the start of this year. I think the Warriors wish they included Pajemski in whatever trade that they were cooking up. But I selfishly just want to see Lauri play on a meaningful team because it was fun to watch him play in the Euro basketball games. Actually competing to win, and I would like to see that level of talent being on a team that's actually competing to win games and not looking to tank and collect assets. That's my take on it.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. See how much more development this team can go throughout the season. Just watching Keontae, I think, is the bright spot on this team right now. And one of the biggest surprises, I think, not a huge surprise, but it's a pretty big leap. It's pretty significant, I would say, for sure. So anyway, that's all we have for this episode. Thank you for hopping on, Brendan. Appreciate the time. If you guys do enjoy our content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you again.